time we're gonna have a testimony from Yurida. Go ahead.
Hi. Well, it's pronounced Yuridia, but it's okay. Yuri works. Um, anyways, my name is Yuri. And this summer I got to canvas. I got to go door to door in the state of Indiana, and it was the most fun thing ever. Ben is not exaggerating when he says it changes your life, okay? It was the best thing ever. And today I get to share with you guys a story. Um, so backstory real quick before we get to the real story. I was going through the books of Exodus and Numbers while I was there. That was my devotion. And um what's it called? Now, just so that you know that, at the beginning of the summer, they teach us how to talk to people at doors with no soliciting signs, right? Instead of saying, "Hey, here's my book. Would you help donate?" Instead, we offer them a survey, and we ask them if they're interested in Bible studies, in VBS, a stop smoking program, and things like that. Well, I did that, and at the beginning of the summer, people were so mean to me. They would just yell at me, or they would tell me to go away and that I was annoying, and it like just started to hurt my feelings. Okay, I was freaking out, and so as the summer went on, when I would see one, I had that PTSD moment, and I said, "Well, let me just leave a glow track and I'll pray." So I did that. But then as the summer continued, my prayers became less and less sincere. Instead of Lord, please be with them. Please send them another person. I know that you have an amazing divine appointment for them. Instead of being like that, it was like, "Oh Lord, you got this. Amen." And it was so insincere. And I got to the point in Numbers where what's it called? Sorry, what's his name? Moses and Aaron hit the rock instead of speaking to it. And I was reading uh Spirit of Prophecy with it. And so I'm going to read with to you guys chapter 38. This was their journey around I can't remember, around Edom, I think. Sorry, I had it screenshotted from over the summer because it impacted me so much. So I just went to my camera roll. Um, but she had talked more about them hitting the rock in the chapter before. But in this chapter, she had said, with deep sorrow, Moses removed from Aaron the holy vestments and placed them upon Eleazar, who thus became his successor by divine appointment. For his sin at Kadesh, Aaron was denied the privilege of officiating as God's high priest in Canaan, of offering the first sacrifice in the goodly land, and thus consecrating the inheritance of Israel. Moses was to continue to bear his burden in leading the people to the very borders of Canaan. He was to come within sight of the promised land, but was not to enter it. Now, this part you guys have to listen. She says, "Had these servants of God, when they stood before the rock at Kadesh, borne unmurmuringly the tests there brought upon them, how different would have been their future." Wow. A wrong act can never be undone. It may be that the work of a lifetime will not recover what has been lost in a single moment of temptation or even thoughtlessness. That shook me to my core, guys. I was like, whoa, imagine the people that I missed. I was the one who signed up to go door to door. I was the one who decided that I wanted to reach as many people as I could. And I myself was saying, "Lord, no, you got this." Like, oh, I was giving the burden that I asked for to somebody else. And I was so embarrassed. So that morning when I had read that, I knew I decided then and there that I wasn't gonna miss any more no soliciting doors. No matter what, I wasn't. So I get dropped off in a neighborhood and it's going really good. I'm canvassing and then I see no soliciting. And unfortunately, I thought to myself, what's one more door? How embarrassing. I know. Don't tell me. And so I leave the glow track and I go. And I felt the burden in my heart. Yuridia, go back, go back, go back. You have to go back. And I was like, no, no, no. I'm this far. I can't go back now. And then it was like, no, go back. But I was like, okay, well, this is a comb. A comb is where you do both sides of the street. And so I said, this is a comb. I'll go back whenever I come across it again. And so I keep going, but what I failed to notice was that my comb was a curve. So this road was much longer than I thought. And unfortunately, I actually never got to go back to that house. And I remember during lunch, I was so sad. filled with sorrow. I was like, Lord, I'm so sorry. I don't know who I just missed. What if I just cost them their salvation? What if I was their last shot and I missed it? I was so embarrassed. I was like, Lord, please forgive me my sin, Lord. I don't know why I did that. I was so embarrassed. And so I'm like, Lord, I don't know how I can make it up. I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna keep praying for that person. And so I asked for forgiveness and I get, lunch is over and I'm getting dropped off at my next stop. And guys, at this next stop, every single house had a no soliciting sign. You could see the red little letters for 20 houses in a row. 20 houses. You could see the little no soliciting. And I was like, wow, I can't skip all of them now. And I was like, okay, well, I told the Lord I wasn't going to skip anymore. So here I go. And so I started, and of course, I got the get out of here. We don't want you here. Can you not read? It says no soliciting. I got those plenty of times. But then I got to one guy who was very kind. He didn't want a book. He didn't. He was like, "You're still listening, but I'll be nice to you because you're a nice person." So, but instead of saying, "Hey, we're offering a free survey," why don't you say we're offering free services? Then people will probably listen to you more. And I said, "Oh, okay, wait, that makes sense. I'll try that." So I did. And I got to a house where one woman bought all of my great controversies and all of my steps to Christ. Then another woman just bought all of my books. Like she just got all of my books just because. She was like, "Oh, I just want to be nice." Still, all of them had no soliciting on them, mind you. But and then there's another one where she didn't get anything, but we just had a really fun conversation. And I'm a talker, and I love to talk, so I would count that as still a divine appointment. And then my last guy, I remember him so very well because I remember going up to him and I was terrified still, kind of. And he was like, "Okay, I'll help you." And he went into his house. He came outside. He came out with the biggest stack of money I'd ever seen in my life, guys. And they were all fresh bills. And I remember being like, "Oh my goodness, you're just gonna give this to me?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's okay. It's a little bit of nothing." I don't know what he does for work. Not my problem. All I know is that he was able to help me out. And with that blessing, I was able to help other homes too. And I was able to leave other homes with steps to Christ and great controversy. That day taught me that I needed to deny myself. I needed to put God's will above mine. And not only that, I had made God a promise, or not necessarily, but I had made the commitment to go door to door and knock and give every single person a chance to hear God. And for me to not do it, that's not okay. Um, so that's my testimony for today. Just guys, remember, listen to what the Lord is saying, give somebody a shot to hear Christ. So if you guys still want to sign up for Youth Rush, you still can.
Amen. Thank you so much for sharing, and I definitely can relate to that. It's easy to skip people, but then you feel so guilty because you're like, they deserved to hear about Jesus and everything. So don't skip anybody. Don't skip anybody, and give everyone a fair chance to hear about Jesus. That's for sure. Thank you for sharing that. That's a story of victory. So, um, amen.